Good morning everyone. Myself Sesha from the Department of Pharmaceutics. So in the last class we have discussed about the schedules which is comes under the topic of Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940 and its rules 1945. So previously the schedules topic I was started and we have discussed some of the schedules. We are already discussed. Here we have different types of the schedules like schedule A, B, next C, D, after that D1, D2, E1, F, F1, F2, F3, FF, G, H, J, K, M. So M. Up to this schedule M in the last class we are discussed. So what about the schedule M here? Schedule M means nothing but here GMP requirements. So good manufacturing practices. GMP means nothing but good manufacturing practices. So if you want to manufacture a product, what are the facilities should be provided there? What are the standards to be followed? Like this, all these comes under the GMP. GMP means nothing but good manufacturing practices. By the name we can understand GMP. M means nothing but manufacturing. P means practices. So during the manufacturing of any of the pharmaceutical product or any of the cosmetic an article, then what are the conditions to be followed, what are the precautions to be taken by the manufacturer, and also what are the facilities of the manufacturing area. So like that, about all these things will comes under the GMP requirements, that is comes under schedule M. And after the schedule M, next one is schedule M1. So if you see the schedule M1, it contains requirements of factory premises for manufacturing of homeopathic medicine. So first one is schedule M. In this schedule M we discussed about the GMP requirements for the normal allopathic medicine. So GMP requirements which are required for the formulation of the allopathic medicine, which comes under the schedule M. And coming to the schedule M1, here only about the homeopathic medicine. So while manufacturing of the homeopathic medicine, what are the conditions and requirements are needed, that will comes under the schedule M1. And next one, schedule M2. M2 means it contains requirements of factory premises for manufacturing of cosmetics. Especially for the cosmetics, one more extra schedule is added, that is nothing but schedule M2. So in the schedule M, requirements for the manufacturing of the allopathic drugs. And next one, schedule M1. M1 means requirements for the manufacturing of the homeopathic medicine. And next one, schedule M2, here requirements for the manufacturing of the cosmetics. And then schedule M3. M3 is for requirements of the factory premises for manufacturing of the medical devices. So medical devices, medical device means nothing but in this diagram we can observe different types of the devices which are generally used in the treatment diagnosis of a disease. For example, stethoscope or thermometer or sphygmomanometer, that is nothing but BP apparatus. Like that we have different types of the equipments here which are generally used in the treatment or in the diagnosis of a disease. So while manufacturing of these medicinal devices, what are the conditions required in the premises, manufacturing premises, in which room we have to manufacture that particular device. So what are the facilities to be provided there? About all these details are given under schedule M3. And next one is schedule N. If you see the schedule N, it contains minimum equipment for the efficient running of a pharmacy. So pharmacy, drugstore, nothing but drugstore. While maintenance of the drugstore, what are the equipments are required for the smooth and efficient running of the pharmacy? About the equipment is given under schedule N. And also some conditions or regulations regarding the maintenance of the pharmacy are given under the schedule N. What are the conditions means the entrance of the pharmacy shall bear an inscription that is nothing but pharmacy in front. So if you observe a pharmacy store, just before the entrance only we can observe that a particular name with the word pharmacy will be efficiently we can observe at the entrance of the door only. And premises shall be separated from rooms for private use, and it should be well built, dry well. Okay, the pharmacy should contain proper ventilation and sufficient dimensions to keep goods separately. So pharmacy means we are not stored or we are not sold a particular product. The pharmacy contains number of products which are arranged in according to the alphabetical order or according to the type of the disease, like that. Any of the, by following any of the rule, the pharmacist can arrange the goods in the pharmacy. So while arranging or keeping of the goods in the shelves, so the each shelf is having proper dimensions. The dimensions are nothing but which are for exact separation of the goods to avoid the contamination. So about all these requirements are given under the schedule N. And next one is schedule O. Here standards for disinfectant fluids. What it contains? Schedule O means nothing but it contains standards for disinfectant fluids. Disinfectant fluids means we are using generally Lysol will be used or phenol will be used, Cresol with soap solution. All these are comes under the disinfectant fluids, nothing but which are used for disinfection purpose. Disinfection nothing but kill the bacteria by the application of the disinfectant which is used for killing of the bacteria, or at least it prevents the growth of the bacteria. So the application of the disinfectant causes the depression in the growth of the, it completely suppresses the growth of the bacteria or other microbes. So disinfectant means nothing but which is used to kill or prevent the growth of the bacteria and other microbes. So about the standards of these disinfectant fluids is given under schedule O. Next one, schedule P. Schedule P means it contains life period of the drugs. Life period. Life period means shelf life. In other words, we can call shelf life. If you observe any of the product, not only the pharmaceutical product, any of the food product or cosmetic product, if you observe the back of that product container, nothing but label. So on the labeling we can observe one point, that is manufacturing date and expiry date of the given product. So from the date of the manufacturing, every product is having a particular shelf life. Shelf period will be there, nothing but that is the expiry period of the product. So while deciding of that expiry period, for example, if you take ophthalmic products, eye drops or any of eye ointment or eye lotion, in that case the labeling contains the expiry period of the ophthalmic product may be up to 1 year or 2 years like that, but the label contains one word, one precaution, that is nothing but should be discarded. After the opening of the container, the product must be used within 1 week or at least within 1 month. After the 1 month of the period, the product immediately should discard. We should not use the product, ophthalmic product, after 1 month of the time from the opening of the container. So once you open the container, immediately it should be used within 1 week or within 1 month. Afterwards it should be discarded. That is one of the instructions of the labeling in the case of the ophthalmic products. In the same way, here the schedule P contains the life period of the product. Life period means some of the products are having only months of the period, like vaccines or serums, they contain maybe very short life span of the expiry period. But coming to the solid dosage forms like tablets and capsules, in such case they may have a long period of the expiry period, like 3 years up to 2 years it will be there. And coming to the cosmetics, maybe the shelf period will be somewhat decreased, like up to 1 year or up to 6 months, like that only it will be given. In the same way, coming to food products also, some of the nutritional supplements, in such case the product contains a labeling that is should be used within 6 months from the manufacturing date. A particular date they won't mention, within 6 months we have to use the product from the manufacturing. Some fruit juices we can observe, there also we can see the labeling like that only, the expiry period. So about the life period of the drugs will be given in the schedule P. And next one, schedule P1, it contains packing of the drugs, means details about the packing of the drug. Packing means the pack size of drugs meant for retail use shall be prescribed. So packing means the volume or the quantity, how much should be packed. If you see the tablets, they contain maximum of all the tablets are packed by using either strip packing or sometimes a blister packing. Whatever it is, we can see the number of the tablets in a particular packing. Maybe in a strip, single strip it contains maybe 10 tablets only. In some cases the single strip contains maybe 15 tablets or 14 tablets. So like that, depends on the drug or depends on the medication, the packing will be vary. At the same time the quantity of the packing is also vary. For example, one example is given here, the pack size for liquid oral preparations. Liquid oral preparation means syrups or elixirs which are taken through the mouth and taken internally, that is called liquid oral preparations. So in the case of liquid oral preparations, the packing size means nothing but the volume of the product to be packed, that is 30 ml in the case of the pediatrics. Pediatric means to the kids. Mostly syrups are especially used for the kids and infants and neonates only. So in the case of the kids, maximum times the suspensions or the syrups, the dosage form is given, the quantity of the dosage form is maximum times it is only 30 ml. So the product contains pack of the 30 ml product only. But in the case of the adult, if you see the adults, what are the syrups we are using, like iron syrups will be used and some of the multivitamin syrups or ginkgo syrup. So all these are used for the nutritional purpose for the adults. In such case the volume of the product is vary, not the 30 ml. This 30 ml is only for the pediatric cases, means syrup or the product which is must be used for the pediatric purpose. In such case the quantity or the volume of the product is only 30 ml. But coming to the adults, there the quantity of the or the volume of the product is maybe 60 ml or 100 ml or 200 ml. Sometimes it will be maybe increased up to 450 ml also. Okay. So this is all the details about the packing. Packing means nothing but here what is the quantity or what is the volume to be packed. That one will be given under schedule P1. And next one, schedule Q. It contains list of dyes, colors and pigments permitted in cosmetics and soaps. So cosmetics means different types of cosmetics will be there. With some of are used for eye preparations, some of the cosmetics are used for hair. So hair dyes, shampoos, all these are comes under hair products. And eye preparations means maybe different products will be used, and also some of the preparations meant for lips also, lip gloss, lipstick, like that. So all these are the cosmetics only. Maybe we are applied on our skin to alter the appearance of any part of the body. So here in these cosmetics and soaps, if you observe the soaps and cosmetics, they are available in various colors with various fragrances also. So different types of colors will be used to get the particular appearance to the part of the body. So while using these colors in the preparation of the cosmetics and also in the soaps, what are the conditions to be followed, means what type of color can be added and what is its quantity, what are the limit for the uses of the particular color. Different types of colors we are used, for example manganese violet, chromium oxide or iron oxide. These are a few examples only. In the same way we have number of colors which are used in the cosmetics and the soaps. But all the colors or pigments or dyes whatever used in the manufacturing of the soaps and cosmetics, they must be affiliated according to the Bureau of Standards, BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards. So according to this, what are the colors and pigments which are approved by the BIS standards, those colors only should be used in the cosmetics preparation, and according to that standards they will provide some limitations for the using of a particular dye in the product formulation. So within that limit only we should use the color in the cosmetics and also in the soaps. So about these details given under schedule Q. And next one, schedule R. Schedule R means nothing but it contains standards for mechanical contraceptives. Mechanical contraceptives, actually coming to the contraceptives, some of the contraceptives are taken through our mouth, means orally, internally you are taken, nothing but they are called as contraceptive pills. But instead of using that contraceptive pills, because they are having a number of adverse reactions in the humans, so that's why we can avoid that contraceptive pills and we can sometimes use contraceptive devices also. So while using of the contraceptive devices, the details or standards to be maintained in the contraceptive devices, all the details are given under schedule R. Different types of shapes of devices are there, and some of the devices are specially used for the male, some of the devices are especially designed for the female also. So whatever it is, while using of that contraceptive device and storage of that contraceptive device, conditions to be followed, that one will be given under schedule R. Okay, and what it contain, the contraceptive should have the label. The label should contain details like date of manufacturing, on which date the particular device is manufactured, and the date up to which the contraceptive device is expected to retain its properties. So some expiry period, in the same way some date should be mentioned on the labeling of the device. So by observing the date we can understand up to that date the person can use that device. Other words, what happen after overcrossing of the date, then what happened means the device may not retain its properties. Actually, what is the purpose we are using? The device may not retain its original properties. It may loses its properties completely. So afterwards, if we are using also, there is no use of the particular device. So that's why within the date only we can use the particular mechanical contraceptive device. All the details of mechanical contraceptive devices are given under schedule R. And next one, schedule R1. Here, standards for medical devices. The standards for the medical devices shall be laid down from time to time by the Bureau of Indian Standards. Previously, schedule M2, there we discussed about what are the facilities of the premises or requirements for the manufacturing of the medical devices. Means while carrying out the procedure like manufacturing of any of the medical device, what are the requirements, surrounding areas, how will be the ventilation, how will be the room, like that one will be given under schedule M2. But coming to the schedule R1 here, standards for the medical device, not for the room and not for the premises, it is especially for the standards for the medical device only. So what is the labeling of that medical device and what are the materials to be used for the manufacturing of the particular medical device, all these conditions given under schedule R1. And next one, schedule S. If you see the schedule S, it contains standards for cosmetics in finished form. Standards for cosmetics in finished form. Finished form means after the manufacturing. Once the manufacturing is completed, then the product will be stored. First packed. The product will be packed. After the packing, it will be stored for some time until used by the consumer. So during the packing only, we should take more care. Means for the particular cosmetics, what type of packing is suitable, either plastic material or polythene material or glass material, which one is best for the giving good protection to the particular cosmetic. So selection of that packing material, and after that requirements for the labeling of the cosmetics, about all these details are given under schedule S, that is nothing but standards for cosmetics in finished form. And next one, schedule T. Schedule T means it contains requirements of factory premises for Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani drugs. Schedule T, where we are discussed about the standards for homeopathic drugs in the schedule M1. M means normally standards of requirements for the premises for the manufacturing of the allopathic drugs, good manufacturing practices. And next one, schedule M1. Schedule M1 is nothing but good manufacturing practices for the homeopathic medicine. Now this is schedule T. Schedule T is for good manufacturing practices for the Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani medicine. So good manufacturing practices means already I discussed about this GMP. GMP means nothing but the premises where you are carrying out the preparation or the manufacturing, and the premises, the people, how they will be in the working area, and what is the infrastructure of that particular premises, what will be the ventilation, what will be the power supply, fuel, what they are using. In this way, all the details which is related to manufacturing premises, that is comes under schedule T. This is especially for Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani drugs. Next, schedule U. It contains manufacturing of raw materials and analytical records of the drugs. So batch to batch we have to maintain these records also. Okay, so in the manufacturing area, like in one industry or in a lab where you are carrying out the manufacturing procedure, there before the manufacturing, first you are procuring the different types of the raw materials for the product formulation. So while you are procuring the raw materials, what are the materials you are procured, from which company, from who's the seller, from whom you are purchasing the particular product, what is the quantity you are procured, what is its cost. Okay, every details, all these details should be documented, and those records should be keep in the lab or keep in the industry at least for a period of the 5 years. This is mandatory. So how you should maintain the records, what will be the procedure for writing of those records, which is given under schedule U. Next one, schedule U1. It contains manufacturing raw materials and analytical records of the cosmetics. So U is for drugs, maintenance of the records or documentations in the manufacturing of the drugs only. And coming to U1, manufacturing of the cosmetics. For the formulation of a cosmetic, whether it is a shampoo or a powder or a lipstick or a whatever it is, anything. So while for its manufacturing, we will definitely procure some raw materials. So all the raw materials what you are procured, what is its cost, its quantity, from where you procured, all these details must be documented. So for the cosmetics, the details are given under schedule U1. For the drugs, the details are given under schedule U. Next one is V. V means it contains standards for patent or proprietary medicine. So up to now what we have discussed, all the schedules are just related to normal drugs, but especially there is a specific schedule, that is schedule V. It contains standards for the patent or proprietary medicine. All the drugs are not the patent products, but some of the drugs will be there, they are already patented by the government to the some of the people only. Means some new formulations or a new chemical entities or any of the new dosage form, just now it was entered into the market by some manufacturer. So definitely the manufacturer will take the patent from the government. According to the Patent Act, they will procure the patent from the government. So For the manufacturing of those patent products, again different procedure will be there. About the procedure which is related to the patent and proprietary medicine is given under Schedule V. Next one is Schedule W. It contains list of drugs marketed under generic name, and its label contain the names and quantities of active ingredients. Okay, so patent medicine is separate word when you are comparing with the normal drugs. In the same way, generic name means now it is the new trend of the era about the, in the case of medicines. Generic medicine is well developed in the, last 10 years onwards. The using of the generic medicine by the people is also increased, and development and its manufacturing of the generic medicine is also more evolved. So coming to here about the details of these generic drugs, that one will be given under the Schedule W. So here the labeling, the packing, every details which is related to the generic product is given under Schedule W. Next one, Schedule X. Schedule X, previously we discussed about this Schedule X in the first unit itself during the manufacturing, sale and import of the drugs and cosmetics. So Schedule X means X contains the psychotropic substances, psychotropic and narcotic substances. Narcotic and psychotropic substances comes under Schedule X. And we know that when if your patient was continuously using the narcotic drugs, means the people is habituated to the drug, they will develop some addictive effect to the particular drug. That's why if the doctor or the physician never prescribe the drug repeatedly, frequently they won't prescribe in the maximum cases. If depends on the patient condition and the severity of the disease, sometimes maybe they will prescribe. But if the people are using the drugs means continuously, definitely they will observe that effect, that is addictive effect. They will be addicted to the particular narcotic drug. Okay, and in the way, by the way, some of the people may also doing some other activities, means what we are called, it is nothing but abuse of the narcotic drugs by the people. That is comes under illegal traffic. That one we can call as illegal traffic, nothing but illegal business only. So drugs which is completely about the psychotropic and narcotic drugs is comes under Schedule X. So in the labeling of the Schedule X drugs, we should observe a word, that is XRX. Generally for the normal drugs, when you prepare a label, so in the label at the left side of the top corner we are using a word RX. When you are prescribing some medication, if you see the prescription, the left top corner is having a word RX. But in the case of this narcotic substances, we can observe a word, that is what? XRX. So X will be there, R will be there, and X. This type of word we can observe at the left top corner of the prescription. Next, Schedule Y. So if you see the Schedule Y, it contains the details about the requirement and guidelines on clinical trials. Clinical trial means nothing but if a new chemical entity was developed by the manufacturer, or any of the new dosage form was prepared by the manufacturer, and sometimes some of the new chemical entities maybe we are imported from the other foreign countries also. Any of the new drug, new formulation, new dosage form which is imported from some other country to in our country, then we need to go for the clinical trials. Nothing but we are checking, we are studying its complete details, like its stability studies, its quality control test, how it will be working on the people. Every details about the new entity will be studied, which comes under the clinical trial. So while conducting the clinical trials, what are the conditions or regulations to be followed by the people who are carrying out the procedure for the clinical trials. Means for example, during some of the clinical trials directly human beings will be used as the volunteers. In some cases we can conduct the clinical trials just by using the normal animals which are having the similar physiological system with respect to human beings. Means for example, dog, sometimes frogs, like that, sometimes rats. Maximum we both are having the same type of the physiological system, so that we are using. So which one is used, either animal or the human being? How many days you are conducting the clinical trial? How much quantity you are giving to the patient or administered to the patient during the clinical trial? What is the procedure you are following? Everything, all these details will be given under the schedule Y. And before proceeding to the clinical trial, what are the requirements to be taken from the government? Means approvals for the carrying out the procedure of this clinical trial. The person who is going to do, he must take the approval from the government also. So about all these details will be given under schedule Y. So these are the schedules. From schedule A to Y we have different types of the details and standards which are related to the drugs and cosmetics. And coming to the drugs again, here allopathic drugs, homeopathic, siddha, ayurvedic, unani. So for all these drugs and cosmetics, every details, and not only the drugs and cosmetics, and also we have discussed about the medical devices and standards for the medical devices. In the same way we are also discussed about the premises where you are carrying out all these procedure. About all these, each and every activity is given under the, means categorized under a particular schedule. So this is about the schedules topic, which will be repeatedly we are discussed the schedule topic in the first unit and also in the second unit. In the same way we are also discussed throughout jurisprudence subject. Okay, thank you.